Howdy everyone, James here. Today we're going to do another kayak modification. The other day we wired the battery up and got the fish finder installed. Today we're going to install a hatch on the front of the kayak right here. This is supposed to be a rod tip protector. It's pretty useless for me. My rods are way too long to be trying to put the tip in there. I'm going to remove this and it will give me plenty of space to get inside of there, because inside of the kayak, from here all the way to the front, you can see from the scupper hole there all the way up here is pretty much inaccessible from the center hatch. There's a big piece of foam right there for support, so all this is just really useless. So I'm going to put a hatch up here, seal it up pretty good with some silicone, that way it doesn't leak, because I do get some water that comes over the bow if the waves are big out there. And also got a new set of navigation lights, red and green navigation lights for the front, because the other ones are old and not working. So we're going to get all that installed today. Thanks for joining in. Alright, I'm going to try this wrench here. A little more leverage. Alright, I can't get this one out. I just pulled it right off. So you can see this is flimsy. This is going to be easy to cut into. This will sit right up here. That'd be perfect. Use this here as a template. See here. It's about 5.5 on each side. Tape it down, that way it doesn't get all messed up when I'm trying to outline here. Alright, I went over and got a marker. Those little holes aren't very important. I'll have those holes once I put the piece on there, the hatch. It's here. Alright. Just try to connect those as good as we can. Get my jigsaw, my drill, so we can drill a starter hole. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about drilling into my kayak here. One of those things you can't really go back from. There it is. No turning back now. Alright, we've got our blade installed. Again, this is definitely not something to take lightly. Let's see. Whew. That was a little nerve-wracking seeing that big old hole there. As you can see, maybe. It opens up a lot more storage for me to put stuff. Hopefully we can do like overnight kayaking trips in the future. Plenty of more room storage now. I'm happy. Let's get this thing installed. Let's make sure it's gonna fit. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice tight fit. What I like about this, it's got this bag in there to keep stuff from going all over the place. So you can take it out and then you can reach in here. You got, man, all kinds of storage. I'm excited about that. I do want to get this vacuumed up inside, and before we finish mounting this, we're going to put the new lights on. Now that we can get in there, cut these old wires to these old lights, get the new lights mounted on, and then we'll finish up the install here. Alright, I got it all vacuumed up. Now what we're going to do is just try to get this out. Get these old wires out. Alright. So as you can see, there's plenty of wire there. These lights come with plenty of wire, and I added a couple feet so that I could reach the where the plugs are. So there's no shortage here of wire. We'll grab the battery out of the back, and there I know which is which. I don't know which is red, which is green right now. Alright. You guys saw me wire this up the last video. Hook this to the battery. See what we got. Alright, that one's red, as you guys can see. I'll get a better connection here. There we go. Gotta make sure they didn't jack up and send us two reds. Let's see, this one should be green. And that one's green, as you can clearly see. So we're going to come here, we'll cut this. They're just falling apart. These lights, I put these lights on over a year ago. Year and a half ago, with plans on putting the battery box in, but I just never did. Never got around to it. Never really fished at night with the kayak, so it was never top priority. But with the fish finder, I had to put the battery in. So went ahead and got some new lights as well. And, get a razor blade. Now is taking the old lights off. I gotta get all this old goop off from trying to seal those holes up. Pretty decent sized hole there in front of the kayak. So we're going to get these cleaned up and get it ready to install the new ones. Alright, got the old ones off here. Now it's time to put the new ones on. And when you're looking at the boat's coming towards you. Green will be on the left, red will be on the right. So that's how we're going to wire it up. That's how they have to be wired up per the law. Got some Loctite marine sealant here. Peel this off. This is where it's going to get nerve-wracking, trying to line these holes back up with the old holes. Oh, I'm making a mess over here. Alright, got one installed over here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get this light. There we go. Got that one installed. It doesn't have to be perfectly level for me. I'm not a perfect individual. It don't need to be perfect. We're going to start on this one now. We are installed. We got both of them put on now. Now we'll get them wired in to the plug and see if we can't get them on. Alright. Went ahead and grabbed all the wiring stuff I'm going to need. To get these wired up. Pull some of this back. Some more. Some of this heat shrink on here. And we'll get some individual ones. Hate dealing with this really thin wire that comes with these lights. This wire is just so hard to work with because it's so thin. There's that. Now, do it all over again. Taking a lot longer than I anticipated today. One down, one to go. I'll probably overkill, but I'd rather make sure the connections are good. They're not going to come off. It ain't the prettiest, but I don't go for prettiest. I ain't entering in no show. So they're wired up. Let's see if we can go ahead and hook this to the power before we get everything sealed up. Sure everything still works. Fish finder's coming on right now. Let me see that. Yep, that's on. Let's see here. Number 1. The rear light is on. Let's go see if the front ones are on. Oh, the green ones are on. The red ones are not. We're gonna have to undo that connection and we're gonna have to redo it, unfortunately. But we know those work at least. Guess we're just gonna have to completely redo that connection. I don't know what went wrong here. Haven't a clue. But we'll just start over. Now before I tape it all up, wire it back up, plug it back in. Still no red lights. What is going on here? Something is not right. It's got to be somewhere in this connection. Could be here. I'm gonna disassemble this whole thing here and see if I can't figure it out. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. Figured out the problem. Previously I had wired it up backwards. So one of them was wired up positive to negative and the other one was positive. It was all jacked up. So now we're going to hook this battery up. Turn it on. It's on. Number 1. See back here. Stern light is on. I will come up here and they're not on. Let me plug them in. Forgot to plug them in. Now they're on. Got the red, got the green, working like they're supposed to. Now we're going to install this. This is the front hatch that we got put right here. Let me turn this off. Install it here with the hatch, that way it opens up this way. That way I can get from the front. I can climb up the front and reach in here if I need to. If it was the other way, I wouldn't be able to get in there. I'm going to put it this way. We're just going to put it on here. Like that. Let me get my drill. I'm going to get all these screwed in. And then I'll put this little rubber felt gasket on there, and I'll add some of this here sealant as well. Try to keep this as watertight as I can because like I said earlier, I do get water that comes over the bow of the boat if I'm out saltwater fishing. So to keep this as watertight as we can, we're going to add some of that sealant. Alright, it's all screwed in, not going anywhere. It really stiffened up. It's really stiffened up the front up here. It's a lot more, it's stiffer than it was, put it that way. Alright, I'm happy with it. We'll put this rubber gasket around and add some of this sealer here. So now we gotta take it all back off. Pry this off, just like so. Now, I'll throw this thing here on. And then I'm just gonna lay a big bead of this. I'm gonna cut this hole a little bit bigger. And I'm just gonna lay it on. Most of this you shouldn't even be able to see, as the hatch will be covering it up. And then whatever oozes out the side, we'll just clean that up. Just really want to make sure it's not going to leak on me. Just going to squeeze some more up under here. Let's go all the way around again. I'll probably put more on after I get it all tightened down the way I want. Just to close any gap up that'll be there. Alright, let's hand tighten these now. So it's all on here. We'll go ahead and Alright, so this is done. This here, obviously, you know, that the white's not going to bother me personally. I know now that it's sealed pretty well. Along the edge there. So if water splashes up here or a wave comes over, I know that with that around the edge like that, it's going to be sealed. Water's not going to get in there. I could go through once it dries with a razor blade and clean it up if I want to. Now, like I said, it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, that's that. That's installed. We've got the bag here. Throw the bag in here. Now, you know, throw whatever we might need in here for a fishing trip, close it up, hit the water. I'd say we're ready, more ready than ever now. We got the lights wired up with the battery, we got the fish finder. Hopefully we can catch some fish. So that's going to be today's video. I'm going to go on through here and get all the wires up off the bottom of the boat. I did that last time, but I had to cut all the zip ties and figure out why it wasn't working, so they're all laying on the bottom. So I'm going to raise them back up, get all the wires up off the ground, the bottom of the boat. That way they're not sitting in the water. So that's going to be today's video. As always, thanks for tuning in.